start off with a word of prayer, and then we're just going to dive right in. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for Jana and Amber and their teams, and all the teams that are represented here tonight, Father. And I pray that you'll just use Cayla and I, and just be with this ambassador training, Father, that you'll just help things to be clear to people, and maybe just a brighter understanding of how you have used Plexus in so many people's lives. We love you, Jesus. Thank you for loving us, and I pray, amen. Okay, first I'm just going to start by saying who I am. My name is Julie West. I am Amber Lewis's level 1, so I'm Jana's level 2. I'm a senior Ruby ambassador. I'm a wife. I have 4 children and 1 on the way. Baby number 5, a little surprise for us, but super excited. I've been with Plexus for a little over 2 years. July 28th was my 2-year Plexus anniversary, so super excited about how the Lord has used this in our family. And before I start with some of the training, I just want to tell you why I dove so quickly into the business side of Plexus. At first, I just started Plexus just to lose weight. I had seen Amber and Jana and some success from them and their family, and I just wanted to be a part of it. But a few weeks in, my sweet little girl, Bella, she's 11 now, but she has had constant GI issues and constipation issues since she was born. And we just really thought it was going to be her life. And when I say severe, it was like really severe. She was on Miralax mineral oil and those little chocolate lax every day. And she would go once a week. So my sweet little girl was in a lot of pain. It caused her to not be able to use the restroom, not just to even urinate, because she would be so blocked up that she couldn't urinate. So we'd have to take her to the hospital just to get catheters. And it was a horrible situation. So Jana and Amber, actually, after I'd been on the product for a couple weeks, approached me about trying this out with Bella. And I thought, what do I have to lose? So we started her on ProBio 5 and BioCleanse. And within a week, Bella was going every single day. And she also has not had 1 urinary tract infection since she started it, which she had for 2 straight years. She was on an antibiotic just to prevent her urinary tract infections because she would have UTIs on a regular basis. So for 2 straight years now, she has been able to go to the restroom every day, has been able to not have a urinary tract infection. So it has been life-changing for our family. I know that sounds dramatic, but when you see your child go through so much pain, and when you see your child have these constant issues to now all of a sudden not having them, it's just a huge answer to prayer. So that's why I dove so quickly into this business, because I saw firsthand that these products really worked, that it wasn't just a thing that people were talking about that's going to come and go, but it really, really worked. So that's why I dove in. So I'm going to kind of be talking through, if you signed up, you should have gotten a welcome pack and you got a little success kit. So we're going to kind of be talking through this a little bit. I encourage you that if you have this, to go through it. It's tons of information in there. If you did not get one when you signed up, talk to your sponsor, because you can still order one and get one. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is just be the product of the product. What I mean by that is take your product. I have so many people on my team and customers that will be like, oh, it's not really working for me. And I'll be like, okay, well, tell me what you're doing. And they're like, well, it's really hard for me to remember to take my pink drink, or I haven't taken the BioCleanse in 2 weeks. And so, these products aren't going to work if you don't take them. So I just want to encourage you to be a product of the product and take them. And then also to branch out. So maybe you've just been doing the triplex, or I don't know, maybe just the pink drink. Branch out and take other things. Our vitamin, our X Factor Plus, is fabulous. I love it. There's so many things that we have that are wonderful. So just branch out. Become like a product of the products and know our products so that you can explain it to people. Again, it's not going to help anybody if it's just sitting on the shelf. So just be a product of the product and take it. A while ago, I mentioned this. So get to know this. One of the things that I love about our Success Kit is that inside of it, it has little product cards. So I'm not the best at remembering what everything does. But for example, so ease. For a long time, I didn't take ease. I do now. I take it on a regular basis, being pregnant with my 5th and being in my late 30s. I have aches and pains. So this has been wonderful. But I didn't know a lot about it at first, so I just kind of stayed away from it. But I love that these cards give you things to say to people. On the back of the cards, it gives you exactly what to say, it gives you topics, talks about the ingredients that are in them. So somebody messages you or texts you and says, hey, tell me about your pain relief line. You have all the information you need to quickly have a conversation with somebody. You don't have to try to reach out to somebody or your upline or a sideline partner. You've got everything you need right here. So get to know that success kit and use it, because it will help you. Okay. 3 is your why. This is a big one. I love this one because for me, it's changed a lot over the 2 years that I've been doing Plexus. At the beginning, it was just strictly all about me and all about losing weight, and that was it. And then when I saw how my sweet little Bella girl, how it helped her, it quickly became about, okay, how many friends do I know that their children struggle with this? I never knew until Plexus how much I would talk about poop, but I talk about poop because apparently it's, happens. People struggle, and you don't realize how hard it is when you go for so long not being able to use the restroom. It affects your whole life. So my why then became about my sweet daughter. And now that I'm 2 years in, my why is bigger. It's more about my family. My husband's a worship pastor, and in the ministry, you don't make a ton of money. And so he's always had to work outside of our church just to make ends meet so that I can stay home with my kids and raise them. And he now has been able to quit 2 of his 3 jobs that he had outside of our church since Plexus. I've been able to take the weight of our house payment off and our car payment off. And that's huge. When I first started, it was just really all about, well, if I could get my products paid for, I'd be great. And then when I quickly started making a little bit of money, I thought, well, gosh, this could be even huge for our family. And I really could help my husband and our family. And so now being able to take that load off his shoulders is such a blessing, such a blessing. So I would encourage you to think through, why do I want to take these products and why do I want to do this business? And pray about it, spend some time thinking about it, and then write it down. And I promise you it will change over the course of your journey with Plexus like mine has. But it's just good for you to think through what it is and why you want to do it, and then to think through how that's going to make you feel. How will it make you feel for you to quit your job and be able to stay home, or for you to be able to provide for your kids' school or college or whatever? For me, I remember sitting down, writing my why out, and I thought, it will feel so good for Adam to stop his jobs to only do ministry, and how that will look for our family, the time that would give our family, the freedom to be able to do more things as a family and not have Dad always working in the evenings, late night, or every Friday night and Saturday, and not having him here. And so to have him home more, to have him available to do things with our family, to not miss games and practices, to be able to help just with things here in the house and just running the household, it's been huge. And I honestly didn't believe it could happen when I first started. When I wrote my why, I was like, this is my why, and I'm going to write it down, but I doubt it's going to happen. But just being able to see my dreams start to come to life, that God has more than provided. And no, I don't make tons and tons of money like, people who are way up in Plexus do, but God has more than provided for our family through Plexus, and I'm so grateful and so blessed. So think through your why. Why do you want to do this business? What would it look like for you and your family? And what would that feel like? So I just encourage you to write that down. Next is just to set goals. So come up with your why and think, okay, well, how am I going to get there? What do I need to do? And this is where you really brainstorming with whoever helped you in this journey, whether it's your sponsor or I can't see everybody on this call, but I'm thinking through getting connected with your sideline partners. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if Terry Paxton is on this call, but Terry Paxton is not somebody in my upline or downline. We don't benefit each other. So when I sign somebody up, Terry doesn't get a bonus for that. Or when she signs somebody up, I don't get bonus for that. We don't financially benefit each other. But Terry has been such a blessing to me. I didn't know Terry until Plexus. We brainstormed together. She's prayed for me and my family. She's just been a huge blessing. And so being able to like connect with somebody like that and sitting down and thinking through your goals with whether it's your upline or your sponsor who helped you in signing up, or just a friend who you know does Plexus, like sitting down and like brainstorming of, okay, I really want to hit silver. I just signed up and I really want to hit silver, which this month is a great time to go silver. So being able to say, how do I do that? How do I physically become silver? And coming up with those hows. And I promise if you sit down with or just call or do a Zoom call like this with whoever helped you sign up, they're going to be more than willing to help you out. If not, message me and I will help you. And so would Cayla. So just reach out, and I promise that's one of the things I love about Plexus is community. We want to help each other. So just reach out and ask for help. And that kind of goes into my next point. So you're setting your goals, but getting connected and staying connected, because the relationships I've built with Plexus have far outweighed the money that I make. I mean, don't get me wrong, huge blessing, and I'm thankful for the money that God has provided through Plexus. But the relationships that I've built, the friends who have come alongside me in hard times and been there for our family and loved on our family has just been huge. And even like getting to know Jan and Amber. I grew up with Jan and Amber, went to school with them. I've known them since I was in kindergarten. But honestly, I didn't get to know them well until I became a part of their Plexus team. And, we have done life together and been there for each other. So I just encourage you to get connected. This is not something that you have to do on your own. You're not on an island all by yourself. There's lots of people here who can help you and who want to help you. So really those are my main points. That was short and quick. And if you have any questions, you can post in the bottom. You can type out your questions in the bottom. I'd be happy. And also, I know from experience that every time I've shared my story about Bella, and I just gave you a really quick version of it, there are people like, oh, I have a child who has this issue. Find me on Facebook. I will be happy to answer any questions that you have and what has worked for Bella and what Bella has gone through, because it really has truly changed her life. So that's all I have. Cayla, if you want to take over.
Thanks so much, Julie. All right, let me introduce myself real quick. Julie and I want to be careful of y'all's time, but we also want to get in some of our top tips. But before I kind of get into my side that we're going to share, let me just tell you who in the world I am. Julie is actually my sister-in-law. We have different last names, but she actually was originally a Sandlin first. I married into the family. So Julie and I are sister-in-laws, and I also am a senior Ruby ambassador, and Julie is actually my sponsor. So we actually signed up as family, which is a lot of fun. But let me just kind of share a little bit about me for those of you who I maybe have not had the chance of meeting. I see a lot of faces on here that are maybe some of you guys who are on my team. Woohoo, shout out, Dream Team. I see some of you guys. But then I also see some other faces. Maybe we've met through Facebook or we haven't had a chance to meet face-to-face yet. So far this is the best we got until we can leaders retreat. But I actually started the Plexus products a couple years ago, or almost a couple years ago now, shortly after Julie signed up. And I'm going to kind of give you guys my story in just a nutshell. I think it's important to hear people's stories for a couple reasons. One, it motivates me, I know personally, when I hear other people's success stories. And all of us have different stories when it comes to our health, when it comes to the products, when it comes to the business. Everybody's different. Everybody's journey is different. So I think it's important to hear people's story, and it also helps us because this business is relational and we need to know about one another. We need to know each other's stories so that when you might talk to a person that might relate to my story, you can message me and say, hey, I have this friend and I think she dealt with something similar. Is it okay if we got you in a 3-way chat, or could I share your story? It's good to know other people's stories because people can connect on a different level. So the reason I actually started the products was not actually for weight loss, although I needed the weight loss. I was pregnant with my first little boy, well, my only little boy, and I had a very fulfilled pregnancy, I guess you could say. Y'all, I gained 70 pounds. So 70. I saw some of you mouth, wow. It's okay. I can see your face. But it is wow. That's a lot of weight. for especially a first-time pregnancy. But that honestly was not my concern. The reason why that was not my concern, the weight, was because after delivery, excited to be a new mom, ready for this crazy journey I was, now officially a part of. But I just had a lot of health issues, a lot of things that went downhill for me that I was not expecting. I wasn't anticipating. And God just knows what he's doing in his perfect timing, because I will tell you, for me personally, if I would not have gone through the things that I went through health-wise afterwards, I had known about Plexus, y'all, and I probably would have never turned to Plexus. I never would have even thought about it. But I had gotten to a desperation in my health journey. I had suffered a lot with just postpartum issues, honestly, just to be flat out, just a lot of just depression, just a lot of sadness. Couldn't quite get going in my day-to-day. And it affected me. It affected my family. It affected the people closest to me. And so because of that, I had hit a point in rock bottom. So all that to say, God uses our stories in different ways. At that time, I also wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and had no idea how we were going to do it. So fast forward a little bit later, my sister-in-law loved me enough to share with me. She never tried to sell me on something. She wasn't trying to make a buck off of me, but she saw someone hurting. She saw someone in need of two different things. But even more importantly at that time was my health. So I jumped right on. I just said, let's try this. I tried it, and the rest is kind of history. Thankfully, I did lose all that 70 pounds, y'all, and that wasn't even really my goal. That was like the bonus on top. But that's what happens with these products. For those of you who are new, when you get your body healthy from the inside out, you're going to start to see changes. After you're consistent, you're going to see changes, just like Julie was talking about, being a product of the product. And then I started sharing with everyone I knew, because again, what if someone was dealing with what I was dealing with? What if there was another mom who wanted to stay home just like I wanted to stay home? What if this? What if that? And I just could start thinking of people after people. And then I thought, how could I not share? So that's why we share, you guys. We share because we love people. We share because we know that these products can help other people. And maybe if you're new, you're not quite sure if it's helped you the way you were wanting yet. Maybe if you're new, you're not quite sure the business has done what you wanted to yet. But the key word is yet. If you're consistent, you're going to see changes in both areas. So again, that's why you hear other people's story. Use our stories, use our belief, tell other people about it. So in continuation a little bit, I want to kind of expand upon our training tonight. If you guys are following along kind of in your success kit that Julie talked about, we're actually just kind of going through some of the major reasons that Plexus gives us it's a quick start guide. So we're just kind of going through. None of the training is to confuse anyone. We like to keep it simple and straightforward, and we like for you to know how you can go look at your resources. So that's what we're going by. This is the list that's in your success kit, and it's numbered. And we're just expanding upon it and kind of telling you a little bit of how you can follow through with these numbers. So Julie left off with talking about setting your own business goals and setting your own health goals. And I can't tell you how important that is, because if we do not set our goals, then you guys, we're just going to be wishing about it. We're just going to be hoping for it. And it's so important to not just set our goals, but then strategize for our goals as well. And so the importance about that is to continue to set the goals and strategize for the goals. Yeah, I can maybe say, I want to go silver this month. And I hope all of you on this call who are going silver this month, or maybe you're trying to go silver again. I always encourage myself to do that, and any of my team members, which just means you try to always get 3 people every month. You don't get the bonus again. Sorry about that. But you do get bonuses for signing up people. So I strategize. You can set a goal, but you have to strategize. How are you going to get it? How many people are you going to reach out to get that? So I loved what Julie had to say about just focusing on your business goals and your health goals. Because remember, these products are why we share. This is why we share. This opportunity in the business is why we share. So you have to set yourself up for success so that you can share that with other people. So I'm going to kind of continue down our little checklist and expand upon it. So if you are looking at it, I'm going to look at number 5, sorry. Oh, wait, Julie, you did number 5 already. Number 6, I am right. Y'all, I can't even count. Okay, so maybe you heard me say reach out to someone, and you might be like me, and I am a social bug. I'm someone who talks to people. It doesn't scare me to start conversation with someone. So some of you on this call are like me. Some of you might be the opposite. The thought of talking to someone that you don't know, or the thought of just talking to someone might scare you half to death. And that's okay. Let me just tell you that right now. It's okay. This is a learning business, okay? It's a learning business. I can't tell you I physically can't tell you how much I have learned since starting this business 2 years ago. And what I say by learned is because I've learned so much about myself. I've learned that I'm a work in progress. Not only physically, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually. And this journey has helped me with that, with friends alongside of me. So it is important to reach out to people. Think about it this way. If you own a business and you never share that business, how in the world are people going to be able to join you in the business? If you love products and you never share about the products, how in the world is someone going to be able to benefit from the products? You physically have to share, okay? So obviously, if you've been around Plexus at all, or maybe you're new, but you've just watched Plexus on social media, that is one way to share, absolutely. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But we have to personally reach out to people. We have to connect with people. You see, my sister-in-law, even though we're family, she connected with me. She knew me, knew my struggles, and reached out to me because of it. And I never once thought that she was trying to make money off of me, because I knew she loved me. I knew she cared about me. And I know each of you guys on this call have people that you love and that you care about. Those are the people that we reach out to first. Those are the people that we talk to because we already have a connection with them. Okay, so on number 6 in our kind of countdown, if you are looking in your success kit, it says, make your Franks list, okay? And you might be thinking, what in the world is a Franks list? Let me tell you. A Franks list is actually an acronym, okay? So it's making a list of people, and the word Franks is an acronym to help you think of all the people that you know, okay? You know a lot more people than you realize, you guys, okay? When you really sit down and you start thinking about it, you know a lot of people. Does that mean you're best friends with everyone? Of course not, but you know a lot of people. So your Franks list are your friends. Okay, so you're thinking of all of your friends and you're writing this down. You're thinking of all of your relatives and you're writing it down. See, I was one of the relatives of Julie. So she had already started this business before me. So I was probably still someone on her list, but then she had a connection with me. So your friends, your relatives, any of your acquaintances. That means maybe they're not your best friend, but you know who they are. They would know your name. They would know your face. You could talk to them and it wouldn't be weird. Your neighborhood, okay? Hopefully you know some of your neighbors, whether you live in an apartment or a condo or a house. You've got to know at least some of your neighbors. And then your kids' connections. So if some of you out here are moms, think about your kids' connections. They might play soccer with someone. They might play volleyball, or they might play football, whatever the case might be. Think of kids' connections. Whatever they're involved in, think of the people that you know and you see on a regular basis. And then your service organization. Now, at first I was like, what in the world does that mean? So that's actually just, I think about the person that cuts my hair all the time. I go to the same lady who cuts my hair all the time. I go to the same eye doctor every time. I go to the same dentist every time. Those kind of people. Every time I get my nails done, I go to the same lady. So if you have those kinds of people that you go to, if you get massages, whatever, think of those relationships. And you just got to sit and really think and write down as many names as possible. So that's very important because that will give you a part of your strategizing for your goal that Julie was talking about. Because if we set a goal, but we don't have anything to get us to that goal, then it's pointless. It's just a wish is what they say. The quote says basically, so a dream without a strategy. I don't even remember what the quote says in a nutshell, y'all. And a dream without a strategy or a dream without a goal, whatever. I don't know. It's just a wish. Okay. You have to make it happen. So don't just be wishing about something. It sounded really good in my head and it didn't come out that way, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. It's just, you have to set that strategy. You have to set yourself up for success. If you're going to be doing meal prepping, I know a lot of people, when they're really watching what they're eating, they do meal prepping, or they're, cutting out certain sugars, or for example, people who do like Whole30. Okay. You guys ever heard of Whole30 before? People who do Whole30. If I'm like, okay, I'm going to start Whole30 tomorrow and I'm going to be awesome, but I never went to the grocery store. I never thought about any of my recipes. I never even read up on what I need to do to start Whole30. Do you guys think that I'm going to be successful in Whole30? No, I'm not. I'm going to open that fridge and I'm going to go for whatever's there, not what I'm supposed to be doing when I'm using Whole30. Does that make sense? Okay. Being prepared is what's going to get you closer to your goal and your success. So make your Frank's list. This is super, super important. And I'm going to expand upon that a little bit more. What do you do with your Frank's list now? Okay. Don't just leave it there. Don't just let it stare at you with all of these people. You need to reach out to them. Now, if you are new, then reaching out is super, super simple. Okay. Especially if you're new, because you have just started something brand new and you're excited to share with all of these people on your Frank's list. So something simple to say, okay? I'm going to tell you the way not to do it because that's what I did it and I scared people off. I would used to write y'all this long paragraph. I mean, almost a novel practically, to tell people about what I'm doing and what Plexus is and why it's been helping me and all of these things. Well, I was giving way too much information. I was overwhelming the person. Be simple. Just like on this call, we're going through the 10 steps of success. Simple and straightforward. Okay, so when you reach out to someone, especially if you're new, just let them know real quickly. Hey, Sarah, I don't know if you saw, but I actually started new Plexus products and I am loving them. Have you ever tried them? A bold, straightforward question. Easy. Don't try to think of the perfect thing to say, because then a lot of times you're not going to come across genuine. And you want to come across genuine to people because you want to be real. You want to be you. We all hate sales pitches, so don't be a sales pitch, okay? Just be yourself. And if you want a straight answer from someone, ask a straight question. If you beat around the bush in your question, guess what kind of answer you're going to get? You're going to get that type of answer. So that is something I really encourage you to do. And if you have been with Plexus for a while, then you hopefully have already been posting on Facebook and sharing about your story and other stories, and sharing just the realness of what the products have done for you and what the opportunity has done for you. So then an easy phrase you can say is, hey, Sarah, I'm sure you've seen my Plexus post by now. Have you ever tried it? Easy, simple, straightforward. Y'all, every time I say, hey, Sarah, I need to pick a new thing, my Siri keeps going off because she thinks I'm talking to her. Bless it, technology. Okay, sorry, that was a side note. It was a distraction for a second. And Siri, maybe Siri will answer me back if she's ever tried the products. Oh, man. Okay, now I'm just making myself laugh. Okay, so moving on to number 7. Okay, I'm going to jump off of Frank's list now. So do you guys understand that? Frank's list, write it out. Now reach out to people. You can reach out to however many people you want to reach out to. Your schedule's different. The more people you reach out to, the more success you're going to have, okay? Statistics show about 1 out of 20 people might be interested. Might be interested. Doesn't mean they're going to buy and sell or anything like that, but they're interested. So think about that depending on the rate that you're wanting to go with this business, okay? If you're wanting a slow, steady one, then that's fine. 3-5 people a day should be a good amount. But if you're really wanting to see this, and you guys, some of y'all are wanting to go silver or gold or rank this month, you've got to reach out to more people, okay? Moving on to number 7. Excuse me. It says to set up 3 face-to-face gatherings. I'm going to get a drink real quick. Hold on. Okay, so what does that mean to set up 3 face-to-face gatherings? Well, there can be a lot of options. This is basically, especially if you are new, okay? But even if you're not new, this is important. That's why this call is called Back to Basics, okay? Sometimes, if you guys are like me, I've been doing this for a couple years now, and I start getting all these fun ideas, and let's try this, and let's try this, and it's great. But sometimes I just need to get back to the simplicity of the basics of how these products and how this business works. So this is for new and old, okay? New, or I guess we won't call you old, but you know what I'm talking about, because I guess I'd fall in that category. 3 face-to-face gatherings. Here's some options of what that means. Basically, again, this is another opportunity to share your business. So if you are new and you haven't been telling people about it, then how do we expect people to join you? You have to get the word out, okay? So here's some ways we can do it. You can do a live event. Now, what does a live event mean? Like, I'm talking a live and in-person event. So you could, if you want to do, there's some different teams who do something called a sip and see. You don't have to call it that, but you could basically just have a few friends over. I'm not saying an event with hundreds of people, y'all, because a lot of times you can't get personal with hundreds of people, but you can get personal with about 5, maybe 10 at the most people. You can connect with all of those people because you have a chance to talk to them. So think about your friends. See if they want to have a girls' night out so that you could share something new that you're doing. Don't try to trick them into it, okay? Let them know what you're going to be sharing or why you're inviting them. But just get together like a regular hangout. Nothing has to be formal. You don't have to have this big PowerPoint presentation. Remember, simple. I've had a lot of different in-home or live events like this, and I will tell you my most successful ones are the ones that I had pretty much nothing but the pink drink for them to try, had some of my products to show, and then we just talked. We talked about our issues. We talked about our goals. We talked about what we want in life, whether it be financially or in our health. We just talked. We connected. You see, we don't want to convince people to do these products. If you convince them, you are always going to be convincing them every month to reorder, okay? We want to connect with them. You want to find something that you guys have in common. You want to find something that you know about them so that you can connect and be there for them, okay? So that's one way that you can set up like a face-to-face, like an event. Another thing that you can do is you can do a Facebook event where basically you start your own Facebook page, like your own group, so to speak, and you can put different posts in there about a different product every day. You can have it last for 30 days or 1 week or just 1 day. And if all this is kind of sounding confusing, this is why you're not alone. You have an upline and sponsors who are willing to help you, okay? Because believe me, when I first started, I didn't know what in the world I was doing, but I wasn't scared to ask questions. And you can ask my upline for sure, which both of them I believe are on here, Amber and Jana. They will both tell you that I was probably the question queen. But if I didn't ask, then at least I would never know. So they were so great to help me when I was first starting and give me the resources. You see, Plexus has a lot of resources that they've given to us that are out there. So we've got to go also do a little searching for ourselves. Not that we're dependent on upline, but they are there to help us get started on our journey. And then we all have this community to help us along the way, okay? So another opportunity is a Facebook event. You can also do a Zoom call like we're doing now. So maybe talking like this is not a problem for you to share your story, or maybe you can ask your upline to come and do a Zoom with you. I've done that before where Julie and I and Amber, we all did a call like this and we invited friends to come because maybe we had friends out of town, or maybe it was just a busy season and it's hard to get people together to actually come to a meeting. That's an option too. So those are what we mean by setting up 3 face-to-face gatherings. Try to do that at the beginning to launch your business, to really get you going. But then if you have been in this business a while and you haven't been doing any of these, do them again because it's very helpful. You have to be doing events that are income producing, okay? That's going to help reach more people. All right, moving on to number 8, setting up your back office. Okay, by raise of hands, how many of you have even been in your back office? People been in your back office? Okay, good. I kind of got like some maybes there and stuff. That's okay. Let me tell you what, first of all, your back office looks scarier than it is. When you go in your back office, we actually have, first of all, a training tab. Well, let me kind of go from the very beginning. Maybe you're like, I don't even know what the back office is, Cayla. Well, let me tell you how to get there, okay? If you just will go to shopmyplexus.com, and then it'll have a login at the very top. You can click login and sign in. You'll be using your username and password that you got started with, okay? So that takes you to your back office. What can you do in this back office? This is where you can change your backup order or your convenience order. So let's say you tried certain products this month and you want to add more products or try different products. That's where you can go and change some of those things. Just make sure you always save the changes, you guys, okay? That's key. Save the changes. If you want to order more products, this is where you go. If you need to change your credit card, any of those kinds of things. As your team grows, this is also where your reports will be. So let me continue on. There is a training tab, which is great. It's right there in the middle when you sign in, and it'll actually take you through the basic training of using the back office. Now, let me tell you what, y'all, you're not going to hurt the back office, okay? So this is how I figured out the back office. I started clicking on things and figuring out, that says this and that says this. I'm going to click on it and figure out what does that mean? And then it took me to a page. You're not going to mess anything up, okay? As long as, unless you're working with your convenience order, otherwise you're not going to mess anything up. You can just look and see what is it, because they have shareables in the back office, which means they have videos on all the products. They have documents on all the products. And that is giving you more credibility when you're talking to your friends that you can send them those informations. It even has little links, you guys, where you can copy it right there, you can email it right there, or you can even post it directly on Facebook right there. They make it so simple and so easy. So it's really, really important that you look at your back office and try to figure it out, play around with it, use the training, and see what it does. Now, if you don't have a team that has grown yet, because I know you guys will be, then it's going to start looking differently as you add more customers and as you add more team members or ambassadors underneath you. It'll start to look a little bit different because you have more people that you can see, okay? So setting up your back office, looking there, making sure your convenience order is turned on, okay? Why is this so important, and why have you probably seen this on so many people's pages? Because, okay, for a couple reasons that I'm going to tell you, and really listen on this. Convenience order is so important because, one, just like Julie talked about at the beginning of the call, we have to be a product of the product. In order to be a product of the product, we ourselves have to stay consistent so that we can be able to take the products properly, get the results that we're wanting and we're working for so that we can share with other people. And so when our convenience order is on, it is making sure that our products are coming. Because I'm sure plenty of you have probably already made this mistake like I have before, where I have been like, oh no, I meant to add that to my convenience order, and now nobody wants to be out of Slim, y'all. Nobody. And nobody in my house wants to be out of probiotic. And especially at Julie's house, you heard her story of her little girl. You better believe she's going to make sure she's not out of probiotic and BioCleanse. That's a must in their household because it's done so much for them. We have to stay consistent. So we have to have that convenience order on for us to be consistent. Also, if you guys don't know this, let me share. If you are wanting to do this business, which I'm guessing many of you are at least interested in it because you're on this call wanting to learn a little bit more, you have to make sure that you personally are commission qualified. And commission qualified, which means that you have reached your 100 PV, which means personal volume. You have reached that, whether it's by your purchases or a customer's purchase. But at the end of the month, if you have not reached that 100 PV personal volume, and if your convenience order is off, you don't get paid. we have to make sure that we are commission qualified. So that is why it's important. So then therefore, when you guys are signing up people, we need to make sure that they know how to get into their back office and their backup order or convenience order is on. You guys good with that? Everybody thumbs up on that? We all, believe me, because once you start growing a team, it will be a lifesaver, those convenience orders. So we are helping you start it right from the beginning. Okay, let's move on to number 9. We're almost finishing up here, you guys. Explore the Plexus Learning Center. So maybe you're like, okay, I'm still wanting to learn a little bit more and I'm not quite sure. You can actually go to plexuslearningcenter.com, okay? And this is all in your handy dandy little success kit. And you can actually look around quite a few different options. This is where you're going to find different types of training materials. You're going to try and find different kinds of videos, maybe even testimonials from other ambassadors. Again, this is important. When I personally started this business, it's something new, okay? I didn't even know what MLM stood for, y'all. I literally tried to sound it out. I would say it to people all the time, but I literally sounded it out like molum. Like I didn't even know what it meant, okay? I felt like an idiot. But that's just proof that you don't have to know everything to be able to learn everything, okay? So if you're like that right now and you're thinking, this is so much information, I don't quite know what to do, just take it a day at a time and learn, okay? It's kind of like just going back and teaching our brain to learn something new, okay? Which is good for us because I imagine all of us are out of high school or college by now, some of us. And so we've got to keep training our brain constantly. And this business is going to do that for you, which is good. It's good for our brain, but you've got to keep learning. So look up videos, look up training. Jana and Amber, you guys, who are both diamonds in our uplines in this business, both of them will tell you when they started, their best friend for training was YouTube. YouTube, okay? How simple is that? They just started typing in Plexus training, Plexus this, Plexus that. And because of that, they learned. They learned something and then they put it into play. They learned something and they put it into play. They continue to do that and grow themselves. Because let me tell you what, you can write this down, y'all, because I will say it till I'm blue in the face. When you are growing, your team is growing. When you stop growing, your team will stop growing. You constantly have to be growing when you want to succeed. You have to. So when I get a lull in my business, meaning like I feel like it's kind of going slow, I look back and reflect on myself, and there's a good chance I haven't been doing a lot of self-learning or self-growing, whether it's self-development personally or training physically. I have got to keep growing and being that example for my team. And then they will very quickly follow that example and follow that duplication. But I have to make sure that I'm constantly doing that. So I'll say it again. If you want your team to grow, you've got to grow. Okay? They say it all the time. The speed of the team is the speed of the leader. You have got to make sure that you are growing and teaching your team how to do the same thing, okay, and passing that on. So that's very, very important. Dig in, go, and learn. Something else that's in that number 9 is we also have a website with Plexus called plexusprint.com. Well, actually, it's myplexusprint.com, where you can actually purchase like personalized business cards. Business cards are very important, guys. Hopefully you go grocery shopping. Hopefully you drop your kids off at the school. Hopefully you have to go to the bank. All of these things, that's ways to meet people, okay? That's networking. Have that business card on you. Maybe have an extra slim on you so that you are giving yourself a goal. Even, I know Amy Paul, if any of you guys follow her and her husband actually have challenges and contests to see how many cards and samples they can give away that day, and then they come back, but not just give away, but get contact information in return. Even if it's just Facebook, that's totally okay. Sign, like friending them on Facebook. But they like to come back at the end of the day to see who won. So like, did Amy get 5 and Eric got 4 or whatever? It's just whatever you do to strategize to get your goal, whatever works for you. So give yourself a challenge to not just give away your card and sample or one or the other, but get the contact information back, okay? That's key. That is key. So that's a good way you can get business cards. That's a good way that you guys can get brochures. So maybe if you are, talking to people and it just helps you to have more of a brochure so that you can talk about something, that's totally fine too. You don't have to have that, but if it helps you, everybody's different for their business. It's good to have something in hand. Okay, I'm going to move on to the very last thing, number 10. This is one of my favorites. Get connected and stay connected. The second one is key. Get connected and stay connected. So personally for me, everyone has a different story, but personally for me, I've been in this business for almost 2 years. I've had a lot of people come and go. I couldn't imagine to hear what Amber and Jana have to say about how many people they've had come and go. But I bet you that we could probably all have something in common with the people that left. One of two things happened. One, they never got connected. What do I mean by getting connected? Doing things like you're doing right now. You're getting on a call. You're looking at all these faces. You're recognizing names. I want you to look at some of the names on these calls. If you're not friends with them, go be friends with them. This is your community. We're on a team, you guys. We are all on a team to help one another. Go friend each other. Be encouragement to each other. Be accountability to one another. Just like Julie shared with one of her friends, Terry, that she never even met before Plexus, but they're good friends now and they encourage one another, even though they don't benefit each other money-wise. But really, in the long run, when Plexus all does better, then guess what? Our pay points are all higher, which means we get a higher pay. So that's why you've seen a lot of people talk about we are one Plexus. We do help one another out. So one reason that people tend to leave is they never get connected, okay? So when your people are signing up, when you guys are going silver this month and getting those double bonuses, I'm so excited to see these names pop up in our newsfeed in the next couple weeks about you went silver, or gold even this month. When you are signing up new people, get them connected, get them involved in your community, because this is about relationships. We have to know that the people have to know that we care about them, not just making money, okay? That's just a bonus by getting to watch our friends and family get healthy, okay? That's just a bonus. But we have got to care. So one, get them connected. But the second thing is stay connected. So I know personally when people have left this business or the products or something like that, a lot of times they might have got connected at the beginning, but they didn't stay it. They didn't stay committed. They didn't stay consistent. If you're struggling, you guys, or you're having doubts about something, that's when you reach out to your upline. I know there's times where I have a hard month or I have a hard time. I reach up to my upline and I say, listen, I got a vent. I got to get it out. This is what I'm going through. Reach out to your upline, because chances are they have probably gone through the same thing or same thought process you have too, because all of us have been on this journey. The only way you can fail in this journey, people say it all the time, and I firmly believe it, is if you quit. That's it. So am I at the perfect rank that I want to be right now? No, I'm not. And are you probably at the perfect rank or that you want to be? No, maybe not. But y'all, it's not about the rank. It's about continuing on with our journey, self-developing ourselves. I mean, Amber and Jana are both Diamond Ambassadors, but they're still growing. They didn't stop. They're still pouring into people, because it's not just about that rank. It's not just about the money. It's not just about this. It's about helping people. So when you know that that's where your heart is, then believe me, you'll never have to second guess about coming across too salesy to people, because you know your heart. You know why you're reaching out to them. So I encourage you, obviously you are connected right now, but stay connected. When Amber and Jana have these calls, yeah, there's going to probably be another back to basics call, but guess what? They're different people. They all have different things to say. They all have different stories. Try to get on the calls. When we have a special guest speaker or a host, and maybe your upline does it or Amber and Jana do it, get on the call. It's okay to multitask. If you need to have earphones in, I see people all over. I mean, I see people with their toddlers on the table. I see a sweet little baby, Kylie's baby. Hey, Kylie. I mean, I see all these people in all different, different areas of life. I'm in my bedroom, and Lord help him. My husband today was day 1 of potty training. And so I needed to get away, and he is still in there with a buck naked child trying to potty train. So I'm in my room hiding because I didn't want y'all to see a naked boy running back and forth. So everyone's in a different area of life. You can multitask and do this business, okay? Because you're doing it right now. You just have to set aside the time. You have to be driven, and you have to set goals, strategize for the goals, achieve the goals. Get connected and stay connected, you guys, okay? I'm so glad that you guys were able to get on this call tonight. We did record it, so we'll be getting it to the Slim Sisters page. So if you already have team members who are on your team, share this with them. Tell them to watch it. Just give them the tools that they need. Give them the resources that they need. Because let me just tell you what, it's been a journey. And some people say it's a roller coaster up and down, and I will definitely agree with that. Some people say don't jump on that roller coaster, but I love what another Diamond Ambassador says, Brooke Hemingway. She says, it's a roller coaster. Know that it goes it goes up and down. But instead of jumping off the roller coaster, just hold on for dear life, because it's worth it. I mean, how many times do we finish an actual roller coaster and we might be scared and we're screaming and we're thinking this bar is totally going to come off and I'm going to fly out of this thing? But when we're done, we're so excited. And it was so fun. And it was an experience and a ride that you can look back on and you want to do it again. So let that be your vision. Let that be your goal. Hold on tight. The only way you guys can fail at this is if you quit. So don't quit, okay? Don't quit. Keep it up. Keep pushing and get back to your basics. Use that success kit. Use your upline. Use your sidelines. Do whatever you guys can to just get and stay connected, all right? Well, let me pray for you guys, and we'll kind of end out this call. Thank you all again so much for joining Julie and I. We enjoy getting to do this business together and getting to kind of share our hearts. So I'll pray for us, and then I'll leave it open for questions in case people do have some. So if you want to be thinking about a question, I guess while we pray, let's pray first, and then you can think about the question. So let's bow our heads and pray. Dear Jesus, thank you so much for this day, God, and just thank you for an opportunity that you can use with something called Plexus. Never, ever in a million years, God, did I think that I would be in a position like this, but you put us in platforms and in certain things in our life for reasons. And just having the opportunity to pray to you just on a call with all of this fabulous team and new friends, God, that I'm meeting, just what a way to see your glory. And thank you so much for the team you placed me on, and for the team that you have placed these men and women on of Amber and Jana, and just the Christ-like example that we have to follow. Thank you, God. Thank you so much for putting us exactly where we needed to go. Thank you for putting us on a team of people who love people. They love you. And that is how we duplicate down. So God, I just pray for each and every one of these ambassadors on this call, that you will strengthen them, that you will just keep their eyes on their goal and on their why, and give them dreams, God. Give them big dreams and help them to chase after them. Help them to run after them, God. And we just thank you so much for all that you have done and all that you are doing. And we just give you this night. Help us to have a good rest and to wake up with new goals and strategies tomorrow. In your name I pray. Amen. All right. I am going to, I think I have everybody muted. So this is what I'm going to do. If you want to stay on the call, then please feel free. If you do not and you need to go somewhere, I totally understand. But I'm going to actually unmute everybody. But if you need to be muted again, you can mute yourself, okay? And then if you have questions, then just unmute yourself and let us know. So I'm unmuting everybody, so beware, okay? So if you need to be muted, so don't be like yelling at me or something. Okay, so if you need to be muted, feel free. Otherwise, you guys are more than welcome to ask any questions.
What do you do with alcohol? What's alcohol there? I'm guessing
people won't understand. If you need to be muted, you can. Hopefully that helps. Okay, anybody have any questions? Julie and I are not as scary as we might look. I'm not actually not scary. Y'all, I'm totally like rocking the earrings right now with PJs on. Yep, that's pretty much pajama world. So I told you we were potty training today, And I probably have a lot of potty on me. Lord help me. Ooh, goodness. Anyhow.
Is there going to be a training for back office?
There, I don't know if we have a specific one for back office right now, but is that Stacy?
Yes.
Hey, girl. Yeah, I'm so glad you were able to get on. There is, I don't think we have one yet set up, but if you will message me, since I'm your upline, if you will message me, Stacy, if you want to kind of look over a little bit more, then message me to let me know so I can put it on my calendar, and then you and I can do a Zoom and kind of go through it one-on-one if you'd like.
Awesome.
Don't mind doing that. That would be super helpful. So just shoot me a message over. And we will,
awesome.
Now that you've got this whole Zoom call thing down, we will jump on one and we can look at it together, okay?
Okay.
And hey, I'll just say, you can ask Cayla, and I don't know if Amber's still on this call, but you can ask Amber. When I first signed up, listen, I am technical things and like anything computer, anything like that, like completely stressed me out because I'm not good at it. And so I was just like, this back office thing can stress me out. Getting on a Zoom call stressed me out. I was like, how do I do this? So I just want to encourage you that it does get easier. And once you figure it out, it's like, oh, it's a lot more simple than it really seems at first. But so if you're kind of overwhelmed, like, back office is stressing me out, or even like getting on this call, if that made you nervous. I mean, I still get nervous. I don't enjoy, this is not something that Cayla, it comes easy for her to talk to people. It is not easy for me. I don't like to be in front of people talking, but the longer that I've been with Plexus, the more opportunities that the Lord has used to push me out of my comfort zone and to do things like this. But I just want to encourage you not to let it stress you out or to make you be like, okay, this is too much, I'm quitting. Because I promise it's a lot more simple than it really looks. And like what just happened between Cayla and her little level 1, being able to just get connected with people who can help you figure it out. Like Amber is super tech savvy. So I would just be like, Amber, how do I do this? And she was great at being able to explain things and make it a lot more simpler. And I didn't have to figure it out all by myself.
Anybody else?
Hey, Cayla, I have a question.
Yep.
And this is really kind of more for, I guess, some of the new people that might be on the call. Because I know I in particular have at least one on this call. And she's kind of been working to reach out to people and stuff like that. What are some tips that you and Julie would have in terms of just following up with people that may not respond, or some different things that you could say?
Okay. Julie, do you want me to answer this one, or you want to go?
You can go ahead. Okay.
So I kind of have a rule of thumb, what I do for people who do respond or don't respond. So I'm going to kind of go with the ones who do, and then I'll go with the ones who don't. So the ones who do, I try, like I was talking a little bit earlier, I try to ask a straightforward question. Be bold with my questions, I get a bold answer. Because I know any of you who have been around the business long enough, I would much rather get a straightforward no than like, oh, I'm just not interested right now. Like, I'm like, oh, those ones kill me, because you're like, okay, well, when do I reach out to you again? And how do I follow up with you? You know, I'd rather just get a straightforward no. So when you learn to start asking bold questions and ending it with something like, have you tried it? For those of you, for the people that would pertain to, obviously this is not for every single person you're ever going to reach out to. But most likely, if you're new, you're reaching out to a lot of people you don't know if they've tried it yet, or you don't know if they've used the product. So when you end it with a question, a straightforward question, something like, have you tried it? Then it gives them a straightforward or an easy way to just answer yes or no. And so I've been using the method, if they say yes, then I'll ask them, oh, awesome. Who did you order from? What products did you get? Starting conversation, okay? Because I want to make sure that they're hopefully ordering again from that person. I'm not trying to steal them. Remember, we're one Plexus. But maybe, that person doesn't do the business anymore. Then it's perfect for you. But what if they say no? If they say no, then I normally pick my voice message up. Okay, so if you haven't figured out yet, on Facebook Messenger. There's a little microphone. You can hold it down, and you have 1 minute, which I know kind of seems a little scary, but don't let it scare you. Just try it. But you have a minute to basically voice something out. You can do another one if you need more than a minute. But you can basically voice it out to where you can don't say what plexus is, but just be like, oh, really? Well, I have literally, so for me, I would say something like, it has been life-changing for me. I mean, just the energy I've seen, the weight loss I've seen, the change in my hormones, it has helped me and my family so much. I don't know if you could relate to any of those or if you have specific health goals. And I ended at that. Maybe you're new and you don't really quite have the story yet. You don't quite have, like a story you feel like yet. Or even if you brand new and you literally haven't even tried them yet, okay? You can then say the same thing, but share what I just said. Say, oh, really? I've heard that so many people have had this, or my friend, because obviously you signed up with someone, so you probably knew them somehow. My friend actually, and then you could say something like, she's experienced so much energy. She's had great weight loss. I mean, her hormone changes after having a baby. I mean, whatever you want to say, you can use someone else's story or your own. So that's what I would do after someone does respond, depending on their response. So does that help with that particular one? A yes or a no? Okay. Okay, but then what if they don't respond? Okay. You ask that question, you send it out, nothing. What I normally do is within the next week, I will just send them an easy message with my voice message. Hey girl, did you get my message I sent you last week? That's it. That's all I'll say. Okay. A lot of times I get a response back like, yes, I'm terrible at reading my messages and I don't respond back, or I got it and life has been crazy. We have no idea what's always going on in people's lives, Sometimes I get a voice message or a text back and they've just been going through a lot. And so obviously now I'm understanding why they weren't responding, because I was not priority with some of the crazy stuff going on in their life at that time. But something else that I would say is so let's say you follow up and you ask them that question. Let's say another week or so goes by and still nothing. Well, then you start following up, nothing related to plexus. Nothing. Ask them a question that you might already know the answer to. Maybe it's someone you went to high school with and you're like, hey, so totally random, what was that girl's name that always sat behind us in English that made us laugh? I mean, literally, you might already know the answer, but just ask them, get them to communicate. Or maybe go to their Facebook and look at some of their pictures. Maybe they just went on vacation since it was summer. Oh my gosh, that beach was beautiful. Where'd you guys go on vacation? Follow up then with nothing related to plexus, because that means somehow y'all might not be quite connected. You see what I'm saying? So get connected with someone first. Then let plexus come back up. So does that make sense? So when people don't respond, follow up first with, did you get my message? Then still no response, excuse me, then I would follow up with something non-plexus related to just get yourself connected with them first. And some people don't even use Facebook Messenger, y'all. And they're like totally in like the, I don't know, century. So we've got to get them going. But some people just don't. Like some people are super not tech savvy. So don't always take it personal. Just keep reaching. So I hope that was helpful. Julie, I guess if you have anything to add. Sorry, y'all. I just now realized that some of y'all were writing questions in the chat, so I will look through them. I apologize. My bad.
No, what I would just add to that is that, I don't know, maybe I'm the only person that does this, but sometimes I will answer messages in my mind, but not actually write it out, because I'll get it and I'll be doing something and like, oh, I need to, and I'll think that I've responded. And then when they'll write me back, it's like, oh, I never sent that, or I never said that. So don't take it, like she said, don't take it personally. It's not always just about you. It's just, they've got a lot going on. So.
Let's see. It looked like someone asked, how many times would you send a note to them on a weekly basis? I would only do it like within the week. So like a week being the max, probably anywhere from like at least 4 to 7 days, that first one. So let's say I sent something out to them and then I didn't hear anything. So I normally do a week, but that's because I personally use follow-up Fridays so that I don't have people fall through the cracks. Everyone that I've reached out to that week, so like every Friday, I basically reach out to all the people. I follow up with all the people that I did the week before. Does that make sense? Not that week. So like this Friday, I won't follow up with the people I reached out to Monday through Thursday. I'll follow up the people from last Monday through Thursday. And so I always do follow-up Fridays, and that's just me because it's easy for me to remember, oh, it's Friday. I'm just going to follow up with all my people. So I try not to do it more than a week because otherwise you're just becoming a pester. And then also if you're looking at the messages and like it's just plexus, and no response, then there's no connection. So it should at least be plexus, then something not plexus, and y'all talking for a while. And then there's like some sale or something that comes up. So then you reach back out to them. You know what I mean? Like they might just be trying to be nice and say no by not responding. But that's why, again, bold questions are more helpful because then they're hopefully giving you more bold answers. So good questions, though. Very good questions. Anybody else have some questions while we're on here? Maybe I might be stalling so I don't have to go back to a potty training child. Anybody questions, please? No, just kidding.
Oh my God.
Oh, man. Be shy. Okie dokie. Well, then if you guys don't have any questions for right now, then we will go ahead and close the call. But thanks again for joining on here. And if you guys do think of questions, reach out to your uplines. Feel free to friend us. And, we'd be happy to help in any way that we can. And just kind of remember staying connected. Getting other plexus friends, find a power partner, find someone to do this with you. That's going to be really, really helpful. So, all right, guys. Well, good night. I hope y'all have a nice night and a good rest of your week. All right, go set your goals and go for them. I know that's what I got to do when I get off this call. I got to write down my goals for the week, and I got to figure out how I'm going to make them happen. So that is my plan. All right, y'all. Good night. I'm going to end the recording, and I'm going to end the call.
Bye, guys.
Bye.